Oh, snap. And that's how this show gets started.
The circle is complete. Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen. You've come here seeking knowledge of technology. But you'll find only death.
Oh, God. Does that mean I'm gonna die?
Those are all the prepared lines I have for this evening.
That's more than I have, other than winter is coming. That's all I got. Brace yourselves. Winter is... Ah! Yeah!
Where's your sword, Kyle?
Not even the White Walkers will be a match for you.
Unlimited power!
I left my sword at my friend's house, who we were at this weekend. It's very unfortunate. Yes, cue evil laugh. Cue evil laugh. Jesus. You've been working on that laugh. You're so scarily in character.
It's the only thing I can do well. Welcome everyone to Awesome Hardware. It's a live show about technology that we do every Tuesday, and as Tuesday this year landed on October 31st.
What are the odds?
This is the Halloween edition of Awesome Hardware. Hold on, my hood is... My hood is...
That's not very Halloween sounding music.
askew.
Oh. Yes, very
So,
cumbersome.
Kyle and I are in costume. I hope all of you are as well. We're going to drink a few beers and talk about technology. Occasionally we use adult language. Sorry about that, but if it offends you, please watch something else.
I'm a fucking bastard.
I don't know why I feel like I'm talking with an accent all of a sudden. But, yeah. We streamed the first half to my channel, Paul's Hardware, and this is episode number 127. Side A, and in about an hour we'll switch over to Kyle's half on his channel, Bitwit.
Yes.
It's a wonderful, wonderful system that we have lined up here.
Yes.
Before we proceed too far, a quick plug for our retail stores. If you'd like to buy merchandise, it's high quality. And we shout out your name at the end of the show. Here's all the things I'm selling. They're all wonderful. They're all good things, and buying them will make you a more intelligent person.
Yep.
In every way imaginable. Kyle's store, my store, by the way, is paulshardware.net. Kyle's store is bitwit.tech/store. We have some awesome hardware themed merch and other things too. Please buy things.
Buy them all.
It gives us money.
Yep.
And you get fantastic merchandise.
Indeed.
All right.
Did we even say who we were? Just in case some people have no idea.
I thought that would be evident. I thought that would be very obvious, but have people make guesses?
Yes, we did have a few correct guesses in the crowd.
Well, that's good.
So just to confirm, yes, Paul is a Sith Lord.
I am Darth Paul.
Darth Paul. Good. I like that name a lot. And I am Jon Snow of Winterfell.
You know nothing.
But I have glasses on, so I'm nerdy I'm bookworm Jon Snow, so I know everything.
So he knows something.
Yes.
You know something, Jon Snow.
I know something that you don't. Haha.
Spoilers.
Yep. That's
All right.
all of season 8 right there.
We also drink beer. I think I mentioned that, but I'm drinking a Figaro Mountain Brewing Company Danish Red. Picked up by Heather, right? Heather got these?
Mm-hmm.
Heather, Kyle's wife, aka Wifey Sauce.
Thanks, wifey.
Thanks for joining us tonight, especially if you're enjoying Halloween. Maybe you're watching this as small children or medium-sized children are coming to your door.
Or large children.
For candy. We have candy.
We do! Yay, trick or treat for us! Oh my goodness. Heath, we got Reese's. I'm gonna have me a Kit Kat.
And whenever you get...
Digging those Whoppers, too.
Whenever you get a candy multi-pack like this...
It's bad news.
There's always like a nice array of candy, but there's always one...
That's less...
crappy candy. There's one candy...
I think it's left
like
behind.
It ends up like at the end of the bag, there's most of that candy left.
It's the BioStar of the bucket.
Trying to figure out what it was for this mix.
What do you think it is?
So we got here. We have Heath Bar.
That's a solid one.
We got Reese's.
Obviously a
peanut
classic.
butter cups.
Yep.
We got the Whoppers.
Can't knock Whoppers.
Malt balls.
They're safe.
We got the Kit Kat.
Kit Kat's, of course, another classic.
And we got the York Peppermint Patty.
That's the shitty one.
Kyle's spot on there.
That's gonna be the one no one eats.
Now I'm not gonna trash anyone for enjoying a York Peppermint Patty, but look at this array of candy here. Most of it features chocolate, combined with something
Yeah.
that makes the chocolate, it enhances the chocolate.
Yes.
Peppermint, I mean, maybe it's a foreshadowing of Christmas, I suppose.
What even is peppermint?
It's got the word mint in it. Mint is a vegetable, though, and
Yeah.
I feel like that.
No, it's green. It
makes
doesn't
it
belong
bad.
in candy. Correct.
No York peppermint patty. My personal favorite in here is the Whopper.
Oh, yeah. And I like all of them equally.
Yep.
Like my children.
the children, candy children.
I love you all the same.
Okay.
You bastards.
Let's move into some technology. No, what are we doing? First, we're doing hot and heavy hardware.
Woo!
This is a forward-looking edition of
Woo!
hot and heavy hardware because most of this is stuff that either has just launched or has just been announced. We're going to start off with Team Red, AMD, and Ryzen Mobile.
What?
Mobile Ryzen. You can now get Ryzen in your mobile phone.
What? What? Why? Why would you need that?
That's a lie. I was lying to you.
Okay, good.
I'm a Sith Lord, remember?
Mmm.
We're evil.
Your deception is on point.
Now, Ryzen Mobile is AMD APUs, which includes Zen-based CPU packages.
That makes more sense.
Combined with Vega GPU compute units, all on the same chip. It is a single silicon chip offering specifically 4 Zen cores, up to 10 Vega compute units, and a unified power delivery system, all in a package that consumes under 15 watts.
What?
Yes, 15 watts.
That's fantastic.
I believe that's power consumption, not TDP. But here on the this is in an Antec article, by the way. All the articles we're discussing today are linked in the video's description. But in an Antec, they have the last generation from 2015, the FX 9800P, and these are the two new ones: the Ryzen 5 2500U and the Ryzen 7 2700U. Very similar chips. Not a huge amount of distinction between them. Mainly, it's just the base clock here.
Clocks, yeah.
You get a slightly higher base clock with 2700U.
For the GPU too.
Yeah, you get a little bit higher GPU speed. Wait,
You get more CUs. You get more CUs
you get more.
on Vega.
You get a better GPU. You get a 10 compute unit Vega 10 unit versus the 8 compute unit Vega 8 units.
All right.
The CPU side, both are still quad cores. Both still have SMT for simultaneous multi-threading, so you get 8 cores. I'm sorry, 8 threads for your 4 cores.
That naming scheme's tripping me out because when I see 2700U, it reminds me of like a 2700K.
Interesting you should mention that, Kyle.
Yeah?
We're going to come back to that name.
Oh, good.
In just a brief moment
Called
here.
it.
But first, this really hurts my peripheral vision, this cloak I'm wearing. I really have to turn my head in order to look at the screen over here.
Is that...
Tilt back just a little bit.
It's surprising how like the Sith Lords from the actual movies, they never like turn their heads frantically left and right constantly.
What are you doing?
Right?
Who's over there?
Yeah. if it was real life, that's what would be happening the whole time.
What they'd be doing.
Lord Commander, yes. Well, I'm over here, sir. Oh yes, of course.
Your hate has made you powerful. Wait, where'd you go?
Yeah. You come back here.
All right. But anyway,
Too much.
AMD's pretty stoked on these chips, though. They're saying that there's 200% CPU performance and 128% GPU performance gains over their previous generation. Granted, previous generation is based on some fairly outdated CPU architecture, so you would expect them to get some kind of boost up in there. But yeah, uniting Zen and Vega, and all of the info here in this article is about units that intend to be used in laptops and other mobile devices. As far as I can tell, didn't see anything about a socketed variety here. Hold on a sec, I gotta reposition this.
So
no,
it's
the
just
desktop.
a universal socket then? Or it's BGA,
It's probably
right?
a BGA socket in there.
Yeah.
That's what I'd be guessing. There's not a lot of info there, but
Okay.
HP has an NVX 360 featuring the Ryzen 5 2500U. That was a nice zoom there. Lenovo has the IdeaPad 720S. You can get either CPU variant in here, up to 1 terabyte SSD. Now these are not like super high-end laptops or anything like that. These aren't going to be, your Ultrabook $1,800, $2,000 competitors. These are reasonably priced, but still fairly small, lightweight, and power-efficient laptops.
I bet with 15 watts of consumption, that's
Yeah.
got to do you some favors.
So Yes. Hold on. Where was I going? Back to the frequency thing and the power consumption, though. The 15 watt seems sort of like more of a nominal number that they're putting out there. What they're saying is the frequencies listed for these CPUs are more of an efficiency sweet spot. The frequencies being about a 2 gigahertz, 2.2 gigahertz base clock with a 3.8 gigahertz boost. But OEMs can use these processors in configurable TDP modes, which AMD states are from 9 watts to 25 watts. So mainly by changing with the power states. That's not even much of a change to the actual max frequency. It's just a change to the when it turbos up in different states depending on how much compute processing power is needed. Mm-hmm. But 9 watts to 25, so there's some flexibility there. Okay. The limitation here compared to if you compare this to like a Ryzen core, like the 8-core
like a desktop
Ryzen that Ryzen's based on, is only 1 meg of cache, 1 meg of L3 cache per core rather than 2 megs. So you get 4 megs total of L3 cache with these chips. They use Infinity Fabric to connect between the CPU and GPU segments, and the GPU runs at half the clock rate of the memory. DDR4 2400 is what it's rated for. I'm not sure if they're gonna offer faster speeds than that at all. But yeah, as mentioned, these laptops that I showed here briefly are a little bit on the more affordable price side. Middle range $600 to $1,000 notebooks, 13.3-inch 4K displays, up to 1 terabyte SSDs, 48 to 55 watt-hour batteries. And this last page of the article is fairly interesting because they're discussing this as Zen 1.5. And of course, we've talked about Zen being kind of like the performance of Ryzen was kind of the entry level of what AMD was expecting to get out of Zen, the architecture. Mm-hmm. So what they're saying here is the reason that they've named these CPUs with 2000 numbers, like the Ryzen CPUs are all 1000 numbers, 1800X, 1700, and so forth. These are 2000 series CPUs because they felt that there was enough advancements to warrant that. Yes, many of the design ideas that AMD wanted to put into the original desktop Ryzen but couldn't due to time eventually ended up in Ryzen Mobile, such as updated precision boost, for example. So,
or maybe they just ran out of numbers in the 1000 series. They're like, shit, what are we going to call it? The Ryzen...
There were they only used
1550?
They only used probably less than 20 numbers in the 1000 number range. That would leave, according to my math, something like 100, at least 100 more numbers between 1000 and 1999.
That gets too confusing.
That would be confusing. But anyway,
nice whole numbers are better.
We're excited about these mobile CPUs. Of course, if you're out in the market for a laptop, very good for you. It seems like a nice sweet spot.
It sounds like it'll
very low power draw, quad core with the built-in graphics, which should be fairly capable from our understanding. Of course, some of these are going to be available right now, and some of these are coming soon, and there should be more announced for January at CES.
I'd like to see some benchmarks between the Vega 10 mobile and Intel's integrated graphics.
Well, I'm of course very
HD.
interested to hear some more details on socketed, like AM4 socketed varieties of these APUs. Because,
finally put those video outs to use that we've been unable to use for
I
so
really
long.
like the concept of you get a nice kind of super budget $70, $80
APU.
B350 or the X300 or whatever that other chipset that they teased for small form factor. Tiny little mini ITX motherboard and one of those little APUs and drop it in there, and you can have a nice multi-purpose light gaming and HTPC machine that can do some server work and that kind of thing. Yeah, there's lots of things you can do there. And the power draw again. I mean, especially for something that you might keep always on or something like that.
True.
Super nice. All right. Intel has finally released a product that's a little bit more, hopefully will be a little bit more well received when it comes to their 3D crosspoint technology. This is the Optane 900P, and this just dropped late last week. It's available in a couple different capacities, 280 gig and 480 gig, and it looks kind of cool. PCI Express, as you can probably tell. Looks very similar to the Enterprise high-level version of this that they launched, but that one was insanely expensive. This one also pretty expensive. It's about twice the dollar per gig that you would pay for this versus something like a high-end NVMe SSD like a 960 Pro from Samsung, for example. But it is a more feasible, or I'd say a more reasonable implementation of Optane, of 3D Crosspoints, as far as the memory goes, because the memory is what's important here, the actual storage itself. This is another AnandTech article, but as you can see here, it's got the Intel 128 gigabit 3D Crosspoint controller, interface PCIe 3.0, and sequential reads and writes, 2,500 megabytes per second and 2,000 megabytes per second. Sequential reads and writes, it's very fast, but it's not necessarily insanely faster than something like a 960 Pro. Right. It's not where its forte is. Really good random read IOPS, random read and random write IOPS, and power consumption is quite good as well. So the question that the article asks, and that you might ask yourself if you're a storage junkie, is like, who's this actually made for? It's not made for a standard at-home desktop computer. It's made for an application that is a lot, like, to actually get any use out of this. Like, all right, granted, you could buy this and put it in a gaming PC, no problem. And maybe they're expecting some people to do that because there's a tie-in with Star Citizen, which is kind of random.
Plot twist.
Yeah, Star Citizen tie-in, which I thought there was something on that here. There's no pictures.
But there's definitely better buys than this, unless you're doing something like video editing, maybe.
Yes, so
with
this
like
is
random reads and writes, where that's really important.
Video editing, but even with video editing, there's probably more practical solutions, like getting multiple SATA drives and putting them in a RAID configuration, or a couple NVMe drives or something like that that are more reasonably priced. What this drive is good at is crazy fast random reads, which is very good for database lookups. And so again, you're looking at more like server enterprise type applications. Some really high color depth, high resolution video editing. So if you have a really just a crazy bit rate, then yes, pulling that off of a drive like this would be much faster than the alternative and more traditional NAND-based solutions. But probably one of the things this is really going to be used for is as a RAM upgrade, and sort of again, like a cache for your RAM that's not quite as fast as the RAM, but your RAM goes from it being, something in the tens, 16 gigs or 32 gigs or even 128 gigs to several hundred gigs, which is a pretty nice bump up. And there are specific software applications that really like having that type of thing. Intel specifically tested Side Effects Houdini, rendering a high-resolution animation that included a 1.1 billion particle water simulation, and it was 2.7 times faster than a Samsung 960 Pro. So again, a very specific test set up by Intel, but just sort of an example of how the memory technology itself can be faster, but in a narrow range of applications.
Right, it's very niche.
It will become wider and more useful, and this is the type of thing that we hope trickles down to more people. But yeah, it's not for games, but the Star Citizen bundle, you get an exclusive ship in Star Citizen. You can only get it by buying this SSD.
That's so random because it's not even a product that's necessarily catered to gamers at all. Like these are more professional based.
It's it's more of a promotion thing.
Yeah, but
than
why
a practical hey, use this drive to play niche.
Right.
Niche. But yeah.
All right.
The article from AnandTech concludes, this is an amazing piece of technology, but one whose benefits are difficult to fully enjoy. Low Q-depth random read performance of the Optane SSD is several times faster than any flash-based SSD. Low Q-depth. So you'll find with a lot of SATA and NVMe SSDs, in order to test them and see what the drive can do, you'll see Q-depth 8, Q-depth 32. But practically speaking, again, no at-home desktop usage, even in a server environment. You rarely get past Q-depth 4 or 8. Maybe 16-ish. So, depending on what you're doing, of course, there's lots of variables. What this drive can do is it can hit the numbers that normal SSDs can hit at really low Q-depths. Give it a Q-depth 1 or 2 or something, as long as you're pumping enough data into it, or giving it enough work to do, it will give you the speeds that other drives need to be at QDEP32 in order to hit. I guess that's part of it.
I just looked up the specs really quick on the 960 Pro for random reads and writes, QDEP32, and it's like 440 to 360K.
360 to 440. So
yeah.
That's where you can see a big jump.
That was a big jump.
But yeah.
If you're doing that specific workload.
Yeah. Also unique when it comes to SSDs and sort of typical conventional things that you might expect. If you look into SSDs, this drive performs just as well when it's full as when it's empty. A lot of SSDs slow down when they get almost full. It also performs very consistently over time with far fewer high latency outliers. Also, both drive capacities, the 280 gig and the 480 gig, perform the same. So you don't need to buy the higher capacity drive in order to get better performance, which is often the case with NAND-based SSDs because you have a controller with a certain number of channels, and they're only going to saturate all those channels if you give it enough NAND chips to connect to. So, the 128 gig model doesn't perform as good as a 256 gig model, that kind of thing. Anyway, though, that's a little bit more info on the 900p from Intel.
Interesting.
One last piece of hardware here, the Surface Pro. Oh, I forgot I have makeup on. The Microsoft Surface Pro is a popular piece of hardware as a mobile device, and Microsoft is coming out with a new one. Specifically, this one has a 450 megabit per second LTE version of it. It's launching December 1st. There's two versions of it. This was announced today, actually, at an event in London. Surface Pro with LTE Advanced. Two configurations. Both of them have a Core i5, and I believe that is a Coffee Lake Core i5. One of them has 4 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. The other has 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. So double your RAM, double your storage capacity with the more expensive version. $1150 is the cheaper one. $1450 is US dollars. $1,450 for the more expensive one.
Can you game on it?
You could probably do some gaming on it, but it does not have anything like a discrete GPU, so I wouldn't bet on that too much.
Worthless.
Oh, this hood is getting hot. I'm fine.
It's 606, so it sort of feels like the AC's still on. I can't tell.
Yeah, supposedly you paid extra
to have the AC
more
on.
AC today.
Yeah, our AC
we knew we'd be in
shuts down.
costume. And
Yeah, but
if they didn't do that,
then
you sue them.
I will. I'm suing them right now.
Punch them in the face.
I'm gonna write them an email right now saying I will sue you in 5 minutes if the AC doesn't turn on.
All right. The modem, though, that they're including with the LTE version is pretty crazy. It's a Category 9 LTE advanced modem, up to 450 megabits per second download speed, of course, on a suitable network, phone network that you're connected to that has the capability of providing you that much data. That's the maximum theoretical bandwidth. The modem supports 20 different radio bands, so it should support LTE connectivity in in most countries, basically, as long as you have a SIM for that country, of course. And that's going to be very useful for people with this device because it's very popular for business persons on the go, that kind of thing.
You won't even have to tether.
Yes, Microsoft also insists that the LTE battery life will be substantially identical to when using Wi-Fi. I don't know what substantially identical means. I guess mostly, it's like, it's mostly perfect
with exceptions.
It's completely almost. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go.
They used a word like substantial to cover up a word like barely.
Yeah, you're right. This goes on sale December 1st, launching in 22 markets: US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Austria, Belgium, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Japan, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, and the UK. So if I'm reading that correctly, it's like Europe and English-speaking countries. That's where this is launching. And Japan. And Japan.
You're the outlier.
Right? Yeah, that's pretty accurate. All right, moving on to tech news.
Tech news.
All right, so the iPhone X. Oh wait, I should click over to the story I'm talking about. Have you seen any of the iPhone X reviews?
No.
Well,
Why
if
would
you
I?
wanted to, there was probably from a YouTube video. Because
Probably.
the scuttlebutt with the iPhone X launch is that there was a bunch of YouTubers who were given the iPhone X by Apple.
Okay.
Whereas a lot of your traditional media, traditional in, as in the past 10, 15 years, as far as traditional internet media, written sites, such as Quartz, where we're reading this article from, were not given the iPhone X.
Oh.
So a lot of the
got privilege.
traditional media sites got kind of scooped by the YouTubers a little bit.
Wow.
But there's also complaints about the YouTube videos being perhaps a little bit fluffy.
Fluffy.
That kind of thing. Like Fashion Magazine's video listicle of what it thinks are the top 10 features of the new iPhone.
Oh no.
Which
How do
is,
they do top 10 features in a minute and 23 seconds?
It's the top 10, Kyle. Number
One,
one.
it's a phone. Number 2, it's an iPhone. Number 3.
And Face ID, which is probably going to be one of the most controversial.
Wow, Face ID
features,
made it
is
on there?
Like one of the top 10.
Wow.
Because, like, who needs the convenience of it reading your fingerprint when you can have it awkwardly look at your face?
Oh
anyway,
god, this is cringe. This is pure
also
cringe,
a
Paul. I
minute
can't
and-
watch.
minute and
This is the
23
scariest thing
long.
on Halloween this year.
All right, now Soldier
Just
Knows
waiting
Best.
for
All
it.
right, Soldier Knows Best also did a video on this. It's got a decent amount of views there so far. Soldier Knows Best did a video on it. There's quite a few YouTubers here who did it. A lot of them, I believe, actually went to New York for the hands-on experience with it to get their video and whatnot. But, some of the traditional media was a little bit up in arms over this because, how dare these YouTubers go and review this.
Damn, I sense some saltiness in the force.
Yes. As recently as last month, iPhone 8 review units went out to a bunch of news outlets like The Verge and TechCrunch and Forbes. This time, it seems the company has only given an iPhone X to Stephen Levy at Wired, who happens to have also reviewed the first iPhone ever a decade ago, plus a smattering of YouTubers and outlets publishing directly to YouTube. There's still going to be lots of standard reviews, of course, once more people get their hands on them. And again, I'm expecting Face ID has been one of the most critiqued things as far as like how usable it is and how secure it is and all that kind of stuff. Also, Animojis are a thing now.
What emojis?
Animojis.
Animojis.
I don't know.
Is that like emojis of just a person named Anna?
Popular Science, apparently.
Like, but this is typical people. Like, if someone gets something cool, there's always going to be the man out. There's always going to be somebody that's not happy, or somebody who feels like they've been tossed aside. And when all the established, old-timey written reviewers and journalists were getting samples, all the YouTubers were complaining. Like, YouTube's a legitimate medium for, the actual reviewers who are doing video content on that platform. And then, so the focus is clearly shifted, at least for this launch. And now all the old reviewers are pissed off because all the YouTubers have phones. Like, this is so typical.
It disconnected me from
so
chat for some reason.
Typical.
Sorry about that. I do have a straw poll, actually. I wanted to post for people. Please vote in my straw poll. We're going to see what y'all think of this.
Animojis. Oh, so it's like animated emojis?
What do
Emojis
you-
that are animated?
Yeah, animated emojis. 'Cause so the poo emoji can
The poo can
be all squishy or whatever. I don't know.
he can stink in real
So
time.
yeah. What do you think of Apple's decision to mostly sample YouTubers for the initial iPhone X launch reviews?
Whoa.
I hope this mouse isn't batteries. No, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, let us know what you think of that one. I can't post it. I don't know if Cell's with us today, but Cell, if you can post that in YouTube chat, that'd be
I can
fabulous.
probably
Oh, he already
do it
did.
too. Oh,
Cell, you're awesome.
Cell's the
We love
best.
you, Cell.
He's so on it.
We love you so much.
He's so on top of things.
All right, so yeah, let us know what you think there. I'm gonna jump to the next story. We'll come back to that.
Do
in
it.
Just a moment.
Do it, bitch.
Razer. Speaking of phones,
Razor.
how about a phone that can cut ya
Ooh.
like a razor?
Ooh.
I don't know if
That
that's
sounds like a liability
true.
issue.
Oh, look at that. Dropped it. Get away.
Woo.
Dropped a mini.
It's 1337. Did you see that?
Yeah,
That's
see?
funny.
This little
Leaked.
leaked.
Whoop, whoop,
Yeah,
whoop.
this Razer phone has leaked. Leaks, they're often intentional or whatever. But
Leaks.
Razer acquired Nextbit a while back, and they've been developing a smartphone for a while. Mobile carrier 3G UK has leaked a product page with a little bit more information about this phone.
Juicy.
It's got some pretty interesting specs, including a 120 hertz, 5.72-inch IGZO display.
It's the same sort of display that we're using right now.
Gaming phone.
On our blades.
Yeah, like a gaming phone display.
Exos.
That's interesting. No, I think mine is not.
Oh.
Because you have the...
I have the older generation.
38, whatever. Yours is the high resolution one with the touchscreen.
Ah, yes.
This is the lower resolution, but the higher refresh rate.
Gotcha.
Anyway,
Exo.
back to specs: 8 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage, a 4,000 milliamp hour battery with Qualcomm Quick Charge 4.0, THX certified dual front-facing speakers with Dolby Atmos, dual camera setup on the back, a 12 megapixel f1.75 wide-angle sensor, and a 13 megapixel f2.6 zoom sensor. So the first one would be like your, what the bokeh. Bokeh.
So far, I haven't heard you mention RGB once, and this is a Razer product we're talking about.
Well, it's good.
I'm slightly
the
concerned.
screen, I'm sure, can do all the different colors. I don't know if that logo on the back.
The logo, something
Doesn't look like
besides
the
the
logo on the
screen
back lights
needs to
up RGB
illuminate
or
in
anything.
16.8 million colors, or I will be severely disappointed.
I'm sure the screen can do that much.
Well, the screen,
Probably.
any phone screen can technically do that.
To some, yes. As long as
No,
it doesn't get
it's
burned
not
in.
good enough.
As long as it doesn't get burned in.
This is a Razer product, Paul.
I still haven't opened my Pixel 2.
Oh,
I
are you scared?
Probably tomorrow.
Are you scared too?
No, I want when I open it, I want to do. I just haven't. I haven't got to it yet.
All right.
I'll get to it eventually.
All right.
It's also got something called 4G Super Voice, which appears to be some sort of technology that prevents dead zones.
How?
I don't know.
That sounds like
Sounds like magic.
sounds like bullshit. Prevents dead zones.
A different leak referenced by the article says it's a 1440p display and a Snapdragon 835 CPU. Powering also appears to be running a pretty stock version of Android, which is often appreciated. And as Kyle already mentioned, LOL, it says 1337 in the picture.
I called it.
Lead
called
speak reference.
I don't know if I would ever buy a Razer phone.
Let's jump back to... Oh, the camera went off, Kyle. Is the battery...
What? No.
What happened to the camera?
It looks like we're
Oh, no, it's back. It's back. Never mind.
What
Don't move. Don't move.
Heck?
Don't touch it.
What's happening?
I don't know. It's Halloween. It's
They don't have-
spooky.
They
It
don't.
must be haunted.
They don't have technology at the Night's Watch. I
Yeah.
have no idea what I'm
something
doing
like
right
that.
now.
It's all right. Let us know if that happens again.
That was definitely a ghost. Yep, you're right.
Moving. Oh wait, no. I was gonna ask you guys
Trust
what
the
you thought of this one. Let's see. That's what you thought. Most
Ooh.
people didn't notice, and the rest of them aren't even gonna vote in the stupid poll. It's probably the best idea. I don't want to give the man any extra information. Beyond that, though, the most people who actually had an opinion said that they like it, and old media is dead, and YouTube is better.
It makes
Good.
sense since they're all taking this survey from YouTube.
Yeah. Only 5% who think
Twitch.
YouTube sucks. But thank you all for your votes and your feedback. Let's move on to PCIe 4.0. Yes, indeed. Indeedy. Sorry.
Indubitably.
Getting too into the Sith character here. PCI SIG, which is the PCI Special Interest Group, which is about 800 companies, includes Intel, NVIDIA, and AMD, have released the PCIe 4.0 specification version 1. So it's 4.0 version 1.0. Which you add that up, and you get 5.0.
Yeah.
Which is also in the works. PCIe 5.0.
Whoa.
Here's some motherboards that feature none of these of the things that are being talked about in the article.
That's lame.
But hey, pictures of motherboards.
That looks like a hardware unboxed video.
The biggest change, as has happened in previous generations of PCIe, going from 1 to 2 to 3, that we're on right now, is doubling the transfer rate, going from 8 gigatransfers per second and 8 gigabits per second of link bandwidth per lane to 16 gigatransfers per second and 16 gigabits of bandwidth link.
That is double.
That's twice as much.
I can confirm.
That means you get a total throughput of 64 gigabytes per second per 16 lane slot, which is what you'd expect to plug like a high-end graphics card into. PCI SIG was on a 4-year release cycle, as you can see by this handy chart. For a while, like every 3 to 4 years, they went from PCIe 1 to 2 to 3. However, it has been 7 years now since PCIe 3.0 was released, all the way back in 2010. The current standard provided enough bandwidth. This is what PCI SIG says, that the 3.0 was providing enough bandwidth before the rise of technologies such as PCIe NVMe storage and 10 gigabit Ethernet network cards, which actually can saturate that bus if you got piled on with those devices and some graphics cards and whatnot. Especially if you're limited to only 28 lanes of PCI Express Gen 3 on your 8-core CPU, like 7820X users are saddled with. Well, like me and an Arctic Panther.
Oh yeah. Is Arctic Panther using a 7820?
Right now it's a 7820X.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't. I'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
For now, it's totally fine. But other advantages of PCIe 4.0 include lane margining, I/O virtualization, and platform integration, and extended tags for service devices. It's always convenient. But also, PCIe 5.0 is also discussed in this article because that seems to be more closely on the horizon, especially if you consider the gap between 3.0 and 4.0. PCI SIG aims to release an early version of 5.0, which will again double performance to 32 gigatransfers per second in the second quarter of 2019, which is it's less than 2 years away.
So when they say that they're going to release a new version of PCI Express, they're meaning that they're going to release it to like NVIDIA, AMD.
It's a standard. They developed a standard over time. What's happened right now is they've finalized version of PCIe 4.0 version 1.0. That's that's what's right now.
Right.
5.0, they're not talking about getting to the point where they're at with 4.0 right now. With 5.0 in 2019, they're talking about having outlines of the standards.
Okay.
An early version of the next generation specs.
Gotcha.
But still, seems like pretty an accelerated timeline. So speculation that I've seen is like depending on what we see with motherboard launches over the next couple of years and the different platforms and whatnot, there's some that might skip 4.0 entirely and suddenly jump to 5.0. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, a couple more quick discussion things to talk about here. Adpocalypse, have you been affected?
Maybe like a little bit. I think one of my videos got demonetized.
Have you had any videos get the not suitable for all advertisers thing?
Yeah, I think I got like 1 or 2 of those. And I was like, why would they do it to that video? There are like all these other videos that should be demonetized and blocked. But they picked like the most harmless one. So I was like, okay.
It's usually silly reasons.
Their algorithm's screwed. They wouldn't even give me a reason. I like clicked from, was like, here, find out why. And it was just like a blank page. So I don't know. What about you?
I haven't really had to deal with it, thankfully. I'm surprised about awesome hardware. My other videos are pretty tame, for the most part.
Yeah, if
Awesome-
anything's gonna get blocked, it's this show.
It would be this show, and
Yeah.
I'd be like, that's reasonable. if awesome hardware had limited ads, I'd be like, it's probably a good idea.
I agree with you on this one.
But
YouTube.
for now, we'll keep it. Everything's fine. So, but this has been a big problem for a lot of creators for several months now, including some friends of ours. Not just in the wider realm of YouTube, but also in the tech space. This is affecting people as well. But YouTube, according to YouTube, so grain of salt, and we'll see what happens, is promising to make things a little bit better. And this article details a little bit of things that they're expecting, which is mainly that they expect their creators to lose less ad money, which is useful if you're trying to be a creator and make make a living off of it. Suddenly having your videos demonetized or limited advertising on them is pretty challenging. They said this should reduce the number of misclassified demonetized videos. They expect 30% fewer videos that have to make do with limited ads on their way to becoming fully monetized, because usually when this happens to, say, a mid-sized channel, it'll happen. You submit for manual review, and then depending on I don't know if it's the number of views on the videos or the number of subscribers on the channel, it will get manually reviewed, and you know, if there's nothing in the video that's demonetization worthy, then theoretically, you know, suddenly you get full ad support on it. But
Right.
during that time, of course, which is a very key time when videos are posted,
Yeah.
you have limited ads, and so you don't make as much money.
That's lame. So
Yes.
there's no like money pot like there is when something gets contested.
No, because it's not showing the ads, and the ads
Right.
don't get shown. Then it's not like it's showing the ads and saving the money.
Saving, yeah, it's just
The ads don't
zero
get shown,
ads.
so ad not shown, money no paid.
Lame.
YouTube used appeals over the summer, of which there were many, to refine the machine learning system that automatically categorizes these videos. And in theory, the system should continue to improve both as more appeals come in and YouTube itself gets better at determining what constitutes an offensive video. Problem is that this isn't much consolation to creators who depend on YouTube for income and lost a significant chunk of money. And what I was going to point out, I thought I had it linked, but it's not there.
Have any of our fellow tech tubers been affected heavily?
Yeah, I was going to...
Because I have been to some small degree, but it's, like I said, very, very slight. Maybe like one or two
Yes.
One or two videos in the last
Our
month.
friend Steve over at Hardware Unboxed has been dealing with
No!
it pretty hardcore.
They have the most harmless and informative videos
it's so
ever.
Completely. So yeah, this
They
is
do
22
such good
hours
work.
ago. Broken record here.
I did
Every
see this.
video this week has been demonetized and
Wow.
then remonetized a few days later. This is what it looks like in your UI when you look at it. You can see 30,000 views, not suitable for most advertisers. So all of these
Insane.
views on this video have been shown limited ads, which might mean doesn't mean that there's no ads, but the ads that are getting the most money
Right.
and the most lucrative and that
being
are just
pulled.
normal, that you would expect to be normal most of the time, aren't showing.
Huh.
So he's had to do the request review process, and then they come back later and do it.
Maybe YouTube's like a
Um,
closet Intel fanboy or
yeah,
something.
I mean, you can see back here, yesterday's video just got pinged. Here's another one.
Wow.
And it's like a 1070 Ti Core i5 8400 gaming build. I mean, granted, he opens the video with a string of epithets and talks about how Australians should rule the world and kill everyone else, but, you know, that's just Steve. That's just Steve being Steve.
Is
Right?
YouTube just like being run right now by just some like stupid dude that's like, what are these words I don't understand?
Well, they're trying to make
demonetized."
themselves a more legitimate platform to
That's
present
never
to
gonna
the
happen.
big advertisers who typically advertise on more mainstream media platforms such as TV. But in order to do that, they need to have some semblance of being able to say, all right, your ad's not going to get shown in front of a video of a dude who's like, you know, squirting diarrhea out of his butt for 3 minutes straight or something. Like, I don't know what's not appropriate, but, you know,
It's
what is
disgusting,
and what's
Paul.
not appropriate, that's what they're trying
Can't
to figure
believe
out.
you're planning a video
I know.
like that.
It's probably going to get lots of hits.
Horrific.
Anyway, final story of the news. Sony is working on a robot dog. Look at
A
that.
robot dog.
Yep, look at
Now
it.
that's just awesome.
There's 3 of them. They're wearing outfits
Oh,
for
they're
some
cute.
strange reason. There is a media event planned in November for this dog-shaped pet robot they want to launch next spring. It's unclear whether this will use the Aibo name, because Aibo is an existing AI robot that Sony already sells. In fact, they sold 150,000 Aibos between 1999 and 2006. Now they got this dog. It is a robot capable of forming an emotional bond with customers
No.
and able to grow to inspire love and affection.
That is just creepy.
A
sign of bad things
It's supposed to be
come.
like an AI type thing as well, so you can like talk to it and interact with it. I felt like the article was actually kind of short on explaining what exactly the dog can do for you. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, a cute little robot dog. There's some, you know, I want a cute little robot dog, but like, can I tell it to like, hey, robot dog, go trade stocks for me or something? And
Yeah.
it goes and like, hey, master, I made you $80,000 or whatever, you know, something like that.
Within 5 seconds.
AI should be able to do that.
That's weird. And why is the dog wearing clothes?
I don't know.
Not even regular
It's
dogs
Sony.
need clothes.
It's Sony, and they got this little
What
kid
the
there,
hell is it
so they're
wearing?
like, let's make the dog more approachable by giving it a velvet thing.
And
I
like a
don't know- I don't know.
Beetlejuice costume.
Very
It's
strange.
weird.
This is the Aibo, by the way. This is not the new robot dog. This is the Aibo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that picture is up right here.
So there's a new and improved version of this.
So there you go.
That's scary.
Sony robot dog. All right,
Nope.
that's all I have for my planned remarks and everything.
What is
we
this
have...
third segment that I see here?
We're supposed to carve a pumpkin. Do you still want to do that?
Yeah, you have a pumpkin?
You hold it up.
Okay.
I'll slice.
I don't have a pumpkin on me.
I brought a pumpkin.
Oh, you brought one?
Yeah, I brought one.
Oh, well, you did bring a little pumpkin.
Of course I did.
Sweet.
It's the one we were supposed to carve last week. We didn't have time for it.
Right.
I'm so hot.
Yeah, me too.
Hold on.
I say we go casual cosplay. Wait, okay, all right. Yep, and every time I look down, my Jon Snow hair gets in my face. It's very distracting.
That's better. That's way better.
It is a magical fruit
Alright, so,
given to me by the Lord of Light.
my thought was to carve a pumpkin, you know, just right now.
Right, just out in the open.
This is the idea.
Impromptu carving.
So you want to do that?
We could.
There's also in that bag was some paper, to put some paper down.
Okay. Yeah.
And,
Let's carve a damn pumpkin.
Alright.
Let's freaking do it.
So guys, let us know what
Should we
what shape we should carve into the pumpkin.
What if we carved
Sith Lord
big
Casual
old
Tuesdays.
penis?
A big penis?
Giant penis.
Alright.
Stick it to Twitch one more time before they ban us forever.
Stick the penis to Twitch.
This is for taking away our dildo swinging privileges.
Okay.
So we've got some paper here.
Okay. Wait, move the candy.
Candy.
Don't lose any of the candy.
It's a valuable resource. All right. Yes. Do you have a knife?
I do.
Oh, cool.
Couple knives.
Cool. So,
This one has a sheath.
do you do the same thing I do and like take all the seeds out first?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The same
Sure.
thing. Same thing you do. Like that's some.
Same thing everyone does.
It's a secret technique. No one knows.
Don't share it with everyone. Jeez. All right.
Trick to pumpkin carving is you gotta get a nice wide area at the top so you can scoop out the stuff inside.
Scoop. Yep.
I
have a trash can too.
Oh yeah, trash can probably good. Just gonna.
This is gonna
stab
be
it.
messy.
This is probably not the best
It's gonna get,
pumpkin carving.
it's gonna get messy. Oh yeah. All right.
All right.
You're doing great. You're doing great so far.
Thank you.
Oh. Don't cut towards yourself.
I'm not cutting towards
You're
myself.
making me nervous.
Cutting towards.
You're not a real Sith, you know.
What?
You won't recover very well from
Don't
that.
spoil the illusion. Everyone watching is
Fully convinced.
yeah.
Super immersed. Let's what should we carve? I mean, kind of. Are you thinking like a face or like words or like a picture?
I don't know. Do we have any suggestions in chat?
Guys, what should we carve on the actual pumpkin?
And my live chat went away, so I can't see. I can't see YouTube chat anymore.
You could carve.
What's going on there?
Let's see. You do the Windows logo. What?
Would this be more helpful?
Oh, yes. This might be
Oh, larger
a
knives.
little quicker.
Are you just gonna scoop the seeds out?
Oh, look at
Yeah,
that.
we were planning to.
Okay, I'm gonna get you a bowl.
Oh, okay.
Oh, awesome.
Cool.
I
So
do.
here's-
I do have spoons.
Okay, cool. Spoons too. You came prepared.
I tried to.
You came very prepared. Very prepared. Oh, good. It doesn't look like it's a super wet pumpkin.
Yeah, that's just good.
Looks slightly dry, which is better.
I mean, I was planning on us carving this pumpkin last week. We ran out of time, so.
I have the seeds.
Sure.
Oh, are you gonna roast them?
Unless
Yes.
you want to.
No, you can.
Yay!
Yeah, roasted toasted pumpkin seeds are freaking awesome.
They are. They're the best. We've eaten a lot of
All
them
right,
so far
Cal's-
this year.
Cal's gonna scoop out some of that. Meanwhile,
Yes.
I'm gonna get started on our comments or our questions, since we have had some questions asked of us. Starting off with Scott Dilbeck,
Scotty.
$6.66. Consistent as always, Scott. Happy Halloween. What was your favorite costume you ever wore? What do you think? What do you think, Kyle? Favorite costume ever?
My favorite costume ever.
I have like a really good costume.
I don't think I've ever gone all out, to be honest. I feel like this
one that you spent like months, weeks beforehand.
Yeah,
or
nothing
just
like
lots of
that.
time?
Nothing like that. You know, I dressed up when I was a kid, obviously, just little random kid costumes. And when I got old enough to actually put time and effort into my costume, I didn't give a shit anymore. So I just never dressed up as anything. I'm pretty happy with my Jon Snow costume, to be honest.
Yeah, that turned out well.
It's one of the cooler ones I've done in recent years.
I liked how my Sith costume turned out this year, although, granted, none of the stuff is handmade or anything like that.
Oh, neither is mine.
So, yeah. Alright, this is really...
At least your hair is your own hair.
My hair's my own hair.
Homemade.
I dressed as the Dread Pirate Roberts in like second or third grade, and I had a pretty good, like, the black mask with the mask, and I had a sword and everything. So I was like Wesley as Dread Pirate Roberts in Princess Bride.
Yes.
Well, this is a long time ago, and I
That's
remember
a pretty cool costume for a second grader.
Yeah, I thought that one was pretty good. RGB. Kyle already did an RGB pumpkin.
I did.
The computer in there and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you thought you were done with the pumpkin carving.
I did, you know. Pumpkin had the last laugh.
All right. Thank you, Scott. Tom Bremsmitz with 50 Norwegian krona.
Bremsmitz.
Kyle, did you like my package from Savage Jerky? Tom's was the one who sent that over.
I sure did, you
Kyle
know.
tried out the Carolina Reaper, and it was...
Oh, it was...
I did not envy Kyle one bit.
It was pure hell. And eating it wasn't even the worst part.
Oh, it was...
To be honest. It was the day after.
The day after was when...
Multiple trips to the bathroom were taken.
It really killed you?
It was bad. But we might have gotten a sponsorship deal out of it.
Oh, good.
Because the guys from over at Savage Jerky hit me up. They DM'd me on Twitter like,
Nice.
hey, we love what we did to your mouth and asshole. We'd love to work with you closer. They didn't say that exactly,
Yes, they
but they might as
They
well
really
have.
should
They
have.
basically, between the lines, were saying that. So maybe
awesome.
we'll be seeing more of them later.
Hey, I wouldn't mind that at all.
That's cool.
It was some tasty jerky.
Indeed.
All right, Sam N, and thank you, Thomas, for sending that over. Sam N, $5. Did you ever hear the tragedy of Dark Plagueis the Wise?
No.
It's not a story the Jedi would tell you. I was wondering when prequel memes would arrive, but yes, we were expecting you. We were expecting you.
Welcome.
But for now, I have the high ground. Fred Rant, $50. Thank you, Fred. Oh my God,
Fred!
Paul, for your loving wife so much that you would take her to dinner without being encouraged by someone on YouTube. Unlike someone else we know, everyone say "Bad Kyle." Bad Kyle.
Yes.
When have you not taken your wife to dinner recently?
I took her out. No, wait, that was the night she took me out.
She
No,
took-
I will take her out soon. She's lovely, and I love her.
She's quite nice.
And I will buy her dinner soon.
I think you guys go great together.
Why, thank you, Paul.
All right. Thank you so much, Fred. And I guess I will use that to take my wife out to dinner or something.
There you go.
Figure that out. Dennis Rigdon, $5 for spending Halloween with us. $5 for you and Kyle's next. Thank you, Dennis. Much obliged. And yeah, it's convenient that we are at Kyle's office for this one because we don't have trick-or-treaters coming to the door.
That's true.
If we were at my house, we don't get a lot of trick-or-treaters at my house, but
Dogs.
when they did arrive, the dogs would really cause some problems. So I hope she's having a
Did Nori
fun
and Hero
time.
dress up at all?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they didn't. We've been considering some costumes for that, but
That would have been adorable.
had some good ideas, but didn't go through with it. Nori would hate it.
Oh, yeah.
Here we might be able to get to wear something. All right.
Maybe next year.
ZZR Hardy with 20 Australian, I believe. Your mascara has run.
Oh, no.
Really?
It's scared of your face. It's trying to get
This
away.
is the dark side. You know, when you commit to the dark side, you start to get the creep of it affects the way you look and stuff like that.
Yep.
Learned that from the Old Republic. Fred Rant, thank you, ZZ Hardy.
Again,
Fred
geez.
Rant with $10. $100 to the first of you who tests liquid metal on a GPU in place of thermal tape or paste.
Ew.
I wonder if the temps will drop like on a CPU.
That's a good question.
I don't know.
I haven't known the
Most of the big
stock TIM to be that bad on GPUs.
Yeah,
Compared to CPUs.
most of it's pretty adequate. I mean,
It's not the fact that liquid metal's awesome. It's just the fact that like Intel uses really crap TIM on their CPUs to begin
it's
with.
Poor quality and not the best contacts.
Yeah.
Always, I guess. But yes, I guess Kyle, that's $100 up for grab.
All right.
You're closer than I am right now because you have a delated something.
That's true.
We'll talk more about that
Halfway
in Kyle's
there.
half of the show.
Yeah.
Checker Tile LOL, $5. Love you guys. I miss watching this. Dang it, school and Eastern time.
Boo.
Sorry, we're on Western time, and
Boo, East Coast.
this is a good time for us to have the show, so that's when we have it.
All
But,
right.
but thank you, Checker Tile. The Ryzen with $10. Happy Halloween. My birthday is tomorrow. Can you give me an awesome birthday present by doing the advanced Ryzen overclocking video? Oh,
The advanced.
I'm sorry, the Ryzen. Yeah, because I did a basic Ryzen overclocking video, which I think was a very good video. It was one of the ones I was like, yeah, that turned out well.
Yeah.
And in that video, I was like, I'm going to do an advanced Ryzen overclocking video,
Never promise them.
and I never did.
Never promise them anything. They will
And
remember.
I was like, maybe people just didn't realize that. But Ryzen is keeping me honest. I can still do that. I can still do that. So I am going to give you at least a 50-50 chance that I will follow through. Ryzen.
Make sure you
All
clip
right.
that one, guys.
But he says, "Hi, I know you're busy, but seriously, please soon. I'll say I can do that. I did have some really good ideas for that I didn't follow through with, so I think it would be a good thing.
Seeds are good. We've got the
Yay!
seeds. Woo!
We're moving along here.
We'll be tasty.
I'm not sure what we've seen as far as suggestions. East Coast for life. Hell yeah. West Side till we die. Water Cool Fool. Hey Kyle,
What?
is there any more beer?
There is. Would you like the,
I would
nice
love-
22-ounce bottles that we got?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
They're pretty baller.
That'd be awesome.
They're pretty sweet, man.
Water Cool Fool with a $10 donation. Good news for Asus X399 owners. EK finally came out with a monoblock. Asus ROG Zenith Extreme, Asus Prime X399-A, Asus, yeah, the Asus Prime X399-A, the ROG Strix X399-E, and the ROG Zenith Extreme are all supported. Water Cool Fool, thank you. Your name, you're living up to your name. And EK does some nice monoblocks. My X299 monoblock is doing a good job so far.
You know, I might have to get one as
Yeah, you
well.
might.
Yeah.
That would be appropriate for what you got going on in there.
Yep. More in the second half. Stay
See,
tuned for
it's
that.
great when you say like I'm making the ultimate awesome elite whatever. It's like suddenly you have all this that like, why didn't you take that to the next level?
I know. Right. Yep. Well, see, I didn't think I needed to until Gamers Nexus shed some light on that topic.
They should call. Well,
Yes, they did.
had you watched any of their liquid metal stuff
Beforehand?
for this generation beforehand?
Briefly. I didn't watch all of it.
I mean,
There was a lot of stuff, but
It's pretty evident based on their testing that it's a. Like I liked how Steve presented it because he's like Intel, you're losing you're throwing performance out the window by using this type of TIM on there and stuff. But
right.
So you got my message about long-term use though, right?
Yes.
So
yeah,
are you gonna intend it to be a short-term build for now?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to
I think that's fine.
reapply it within a year or so, or I'll actually.
Well, I've heard with liquid metal you might need to take a look even sooner than that.
Well,
but
I think that would be cool to actually test the thermals as time goes on. So maybe every week or every month I do the same exact test.
Just don't let it
and
go.
just see if
Don't let it go
the temps
too.
go up.
If you're consistent with that and you have a long-term results, that would be very interesting to see.
Yeah.
So yeah,
looking forward to it.
It's a good idea. All right, I'm really having a challenge with my hood here. Let's leave it like that. All right. Polytech Computer Mind, $5 donation. Hey guys, love the videos. Any advice for new builder modder trying to break into the community? Drink a beer from each year's. Breaking into the community isn't too tough. It's a very accepting community, very friendly, in my experience.
Yeah.
Most of the time, people who are negative in the community, I see shouted down by other people. Like anyone who's like overly critical of a newbie who doesn't know their way around or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like as long as you come at it with the right attitude, I feel like it's a very good community to get into, the PC building community.
Right.
Beyond that, if you're talking about like doing social media and like maybe a YouTube channel and growing a subscriber base like that, it's just got to be something that you're passionate about and that you're willing to do for an extended period of time without looking for too much feedback at first, because there's lots of people trying to do it. So
right.
I would say if that's what you're going for, focus on looking at what you're able to produce and the feedback you get from the people who do look at it, and don't worry about the numbers. Just worry about that core group of people who actually start watching your stuff. If you can cultivate that and keep making stuff that you like and that the people who are watching like, then you will get a fan base that continues to grow over time.
Good advice.
In my experience, that's how it should work.
I would have to agree with that.
All right. Michael Morton, $5. Hey guys, been watching you guys for a year now. Awesome, thank you, Michael. Both of you have helped me build my first PC and today upgrade it with water cooling. Ooh,
Sweet.
nice. Water cooling is very efficient. Very good way of cooling.
Very expensive.
And somewhat expensive, yes. Thank you, Michael. Nightvine Adalivia with a 5
Pounds?
GBP donation. Have you ever used AlphaCool water blocks? I'm getting a free one sent out for my GPU. Any issues I should know about?
I have not.
Haven't heard about issues with AlphaCool water blocks. Yeah, I think AlphaCool stuff is pretty good.
It's probably safe.
I can't say I've used much of their stuff extensively, although I should reach out to them because I have met them at Computex a couple times and talked about doing stuff, and I'd never followed up with them, so that's my bad. But they do good stuff. Jay gave me a set of AlphaCool fittings, and they were like visually they were a little like loose and wobbly and stuff like that. But he was like, these fittings never leak. They've never leaked, and everything they've sent me has never had a leak before.
Well, that's good news.
Like, they don't look that great. I mean, then granted, these are older stuff. They have nicer stuff too. But like, they're just really solid fittings for everyday use and throwing together a loop real quick and that kind of stuff. So yeah, Josh, I believe your name is Josh. Josh, you should be you should be good.
You guys heard it here, folks. You heard it straight from Jay. AlphaCool products never go bad.
That's what Jay said.
They are forever perfect.
All right, $5 Australian. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry.
Argentinian?
The last question
No.
was from Nightvine. This one's from Josh Saunders, 5 Australian.
Yes.
You guys are great. Also, Steve is great with benchmarks. If you can give a spoiler, when you on float plane, Kyle?
That will be revealed soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
I am currently in talks with the people over at LTT or LMG, as they call it. So yes,
Nice.
you'll all know very soon enough what the future holds for that.
I should do float plane.
You should, because I'm scared. I
Tell them-
don't want to be the only one on it.
Will you be the only one besides Linus Tech Tips?
Yes,
do that?
I'll be the first one
Well, that'd be cool.
officially partnered with them.
I think it would make
So I'm
sense
kind of guinea
because
pigging
you
it.
can provide the
I'm the guinea pig.
contrast of the experience between doing your premium Bitwit Ultra
YouTube
channel
versus Patreon versus
and
Floatplane.
Patreon and Floatplane. So I think
Yeah.
you'd be kind of in a unique position to provide.
That's
some-
true. I mean, I think
feedback
that's
on that
why
experience.
Linus kind of snatched me up when he did, because
Oh, yeah.
he caught wind that YouTube was ending or killing all the paid channels on their platform. And so he knew that I was going to have to switch to somewhere, and as Linus usually does, he seizes an opportunity, and he called me up and was like, will you please?
Seizes it.
He dropped to his knees and was
Brings
like,
it
oh,
up.
please, I'm so scared. I need you in my life. I was like, Linus, shh, bitch. All right, I'll do this one time for you. And then he just continued to beg for like another 30 minutes. It was really sad. But,
Speaking of begging,
yep.
can I have beer?
Yep, beer. We have so much beer. So we have two 22-ounce bottles here.
Oh, yeah, we're
One
supposed
is
to use my
Clown
opening.
Shoes. This is the Barista.
Oh,
It's a
Clown
breakfast
Shoes.
brown ale brewed with espresso, oatmeal, and milk sugars.
They do good stuff.
And then we also have Wifey Sauce found this really interesting beer. It's the Inner Geek Ale 25-year anniversary. It's a brown ale. It's malty, slightly roasted, dark fruit, and caramel notes. 5% alcohol. But look at the top there.
Blizzard.
Yeah, it's the Blizzard logo. Blizzard
So was this
made a beer.
Was
or
this a special
was in collab
or
with,
was this like a specialty brew they made for BlizzCon or something like that? Is it a local brewery?
Potentially, it's Bottle Logic Brewing,
Okay.
which
Where
I've
they're located?
not heard of.
It's got to say where it's located on.
It doesn't say right there by
They're
their
not
name,
allowed to
but,
not say where they're located.
But oh, Anaheim.
There you go.
There you go. They're in freaking Anaheim.
That's where the
so
Anaheim
this is a local
Convention
brewery.
Center is, which is where BlizzCon is.
Yep, that makes sense. Cool. So we have
Oh,
Blizzard
cool.
beer and Clown Shoes beer.
Well, thank you.
I'm
I'm gonna use my bottle opener to open it.
You should. And you should buy one on his site, paulshardware.net. I took it upon myself to drink this one because it is slightly higher alcohol content,
Okay.
8.5%, and since you are driving home tonight, I would be the designated drunkard.
Later on, yes. Good
Yep.
idea. All right. We have a few more questions that have been asked. We're gonna get to those. I think what we're gonna do with the pumpkin right here,
Yes, we could carve
Just
the
been
rest of
gutted.
it on my half.
but we are getting a little over on time right now.
Sure,
So
yeah.
I think what we'll do is we'll start Kyle's half of the show.
carving it.
And since Kyle's going to be talking about tech news and stuff like that, we'll
Yeah.
kind of get the carving going on like throughout the show there.
Yeah.
That work out?
That
All right,
works.
We'll do that.
I like that.
So more of the pumpkin carving on Kyle's up.
It also ensures that you guys watch the entire episode.
Exactly.
Haha.
It's a transition.
We're smart.
All right. Here we go. CCM 1092. Thanks, CCM, for the $5 donation. Still planning on the shorter show plus after party type dealio.
We have not
Shorter
talked
show.
about that.
It
since
was
the last
an
time.
idea that was kind of floated briefly
Yeah.
in one of the shows. I'd like to do more gaming in general. I think
Yeah.
the after party after the show is probably less likely to happen just because Tuesday is usually a fairly long day for us.
Yeah.
And doing that at the very end, like we can do it, but it's very tiring. So I would rather do it on a day when I know I have it coming, when I don't have a lot of
True.
stuff going on before it, when I can be a little bit more kind of ready to go for it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Maybe we could do like maybe once a month or maybe once every other month we swap out an awesome hardware for just a gaming
like a gaming stream. I'd
where
be
we
just
just get
something
together.
Like that.
I come
Yeah.
to your place or you come here and we'll just game for a couple hours. That could be worked out.
I like that idea. We are planning a long, probably we're going to do a 12-hour charity live stream where we're going to game and everything just like we did last year, combined with some charity stuff to raise some money for charity and stuff,
Yeah, because charity.
and charity.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That'll be a lot of
that's
fun.
going to be beginning of December. So
We did that
We'll let
last
you
year
guys
and it
know.
worked out beautifully.
Yeah.
Raised a ton of money and had a lot of fun.
it was
So
nice.
hopefully you guys can join us for that.
At least have that coming soon. All right. Thank you, CCM. Whitman22, $5 donation. Hey, Paul, love your content. Are you still working on your wall-mounted HTPC? Looking forward to see it finished. An awesome job on Black Panther. Arctic Panther, Whitman, thank you. But yes, I am still working on the HTPC, and I'm going to be moving to the next step with that very soon. I have the big piece of wood, and I basically switched over to focusing on Arctic Panther and getting that done first.
I have a big piece of wood.
But I do
Paul's
plan
Hardware 2017.
on getting the rest of that finished ASAP. All right, Fred Rant,
$50
freaking dollars,
a
Paul.
game.
Another $50, so it can be a nice dinner. Oh, we're going
Wow.
to Taps.
Super fancy. There we go.
Water Cool Fool with $5 more. Alpha Cool is known for flux in their rad. Other than that, they make great products. Not sure if it has changed. Water Cool Fool is named Water Cool Fool, and he knows a lot about water cooling. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to name himself that, so I trust him. But actually, yeah, that's reasonable, and that is a very good reason to always flush your radiators. In fact, most of your water cooling parts, it's a good idea to flush them as thoroughly as you can prior to installing them. But yeah, thank you for that, Water Cool Fool. Jacob Cheruby with $5 Australian. Hey, loving the show. Planning to build a Dell Inspiron 155567. Not sure if I should wait for a Ryzen laptop. Thanks. Oh, to buy. He's going to buy a Dell laptop, but not sure if you should wait for Ryzen. Well, you know, honestly, Jacob, if you've got something that's functional for you right now, it's worth hanging out for a little bit because they have just now started the Ryzen laptops. There's supposed to be a lot more at the beginning of next year. And this is the first time, just like with the mainstream desktop CPU stuff in 2017, this is going to be really the first time in a long time that AMD has had a really viable alternative to the Intel-based stuff on the laptop side that's not just powerful enough to get the work done that you need, but also has the power draw, the efficiency there for long battery life and that kind of thing. So I would say hang out, maybe you know, keep a close eye on what deals you've got coming up for Christmas time, and you know, if not 2018, you should have a lot more options as well.
Yeah.
Cal Nadeau, $5 Canadian. Hey guys, love the show. I am currently in high school, off to university in a few months. Would love to know what programs I should take. Really like computers. Programs.
Like classes? Maybe
if you mean
computer
classes,
science?
yeah, I mean computer science is definitely a good way to go.
Try out programming, see if
Learn
you
a
like
lot of
that.
the fundamentals.
You could try web design, graphic design, video editing. or there should be a computer building class, I feel.
Yeah, there's also a lot of digital arts classes that are, maybe not necessarily as associated with the hardware, but something you can do with the hardware that a lot of people might find appealing. Like, I went to college for film, and I used computers that I built at the time to edit projects, like video projects that I did and everything. So it was a good reason for me to keep making sure I had a nice computer available. Granted, my university had a lab that I could have gone to and used, but I'd rather use my own system. But yeah, so something that you can use computers for would also might be something that would be a viable option for you there too. So yeah, I hope those are reasonable suggestions for you. We're not good at college.
Half of college is figuring out what you don't like.
Yeah.
It's basically you start off with a giant chunk of wood and you just or clay, and you just slowly whittle it down. Be like, nope, I don't like that, I don't like that, I don't like that, until you finally find the one thing that sort of speaks to you, and you're like, okay, I'll follow this more aggressively. So
yes.
Don't be discouraged.
Jonathan S. Thank you, Kyle. Jonathan S. $10. First off, RGB Pumpkin. Secondly, shout out to you guys. Third, Kyle helped me pick out the NZXT S340 Elites.
Cool.
Lastly, what's your favorite episode you both made secretly? Favorite
Awesome Hardware?
episode
Oh, man.
of Awesome Hardware?
It's hard to remember the actual
I remember
numbers?
these like
moments.
Yeah, it's things that happened on the show where
Right.
like we broke down laughing and that sort of thing. I don't know which actual episode it happened in though.
Right.
Like I can't.
I feel like we've had some really good ones in the last couple
like,
months.
oh man, episode 58.
Yeah.
Good
Right.
old episode 58, the classic.
You know, after like
I know.
100 episodes, it kind of gets fuzzy. It sort of blurs
Yeah.
together. I think it's more so the moments, like individual moments of the shows that we remember most, not like episodes as a whole. Because there's never, I don't think, ever been one perfect episode. If you combined all the awesome hardwares into one baller episode.
Maybe at some point
then-
we'll get like someone to just do a massive montage.
Yeah,
Be awesome.
yeah, if you're a big enough fan. That sort of thing.
Oh, separate. All right, Jonathan S. with another $5 donation. He says he meant separately. The favorite episode you both made separately? Favorite episode like of our channels, like just a video that we've made on our channels.
Just a regular video?
What's my favorite video I've made?
I'm really proud of the greatest PC marketing pitch of all time with the tempered glass RGB, the crystal RGB video.
That was a good one.
I thought that was pretty fun.
That was funny.
The impersonations video I thought hit pretty good. Proud of that one. And how to build a PC. I spent a lot of time on that tutorial, and a lot of people seem to like it. So,
For some reason, the one that stands out to me, the Arctic Panther, the original series build that I did 2 years ago, where we did the tube bending with me and Jay.
yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, just filming that video and editing it, like that was back when I was still editing, so I edited it and everything. And it's just all like I really liked how the whole thing came together. I don't know. That one kind of stands out to me. I know there's others that I like too, but anyway, thank you, Jonathan. Python Statistical, $5 Australian, says, "Great show, guys." Thank you, Python Statistical. That's a wonderful thing for you to say. That is all of the donation comments that we have. We will continue those on Kyle's half of the show.
Lovely. Should we do some Johnson shoutouts?
Yes. In the meantime, some Johnson shoutouts, and then we're gonna switch over to Kyle's half. I have a few. First off, Tim from Connecticut. Johnson, to you, he got the mug. My 11-ounce mugs are on sale. Limited time. They're going to be gone soon. Thank you so much, Tim, and a big Johnson to you. We have 3 more.
I got one from Steven. Steven, thank you for picking up an Evolution shirt.
Thank you, Steven.
Johnson to you.
Vincent from Texas. Big old Johnson. Got the black thumbscrew shirt.
Did you say Vincent?
Yes.
That's
Vincent.
a double Johnson.
Double Johnson, Vincent.
Picking up a CPU cooler shirt and a Stay Positive shirt and
Lovely.
a Crystal RGB shirt.
Ooh.
Holy moly.
Lovely.
Triple Johnson.
Bryant from California got the thumbscrew shirts in the tri-blend variety and the beer set. Very popular, the beer set.
Johnson to
Thank you,
Jonah.
Bryant.
Jonah S. for picking up a Words in a Circle pint glass. Thank you,
Lovely.
sir.
And Jonah gets a double Johnson. That's
Double
a
Johnson.
DJ for Jonah. And he got the beer set from me as well.
We got a Johnson
Glass
for
opener.
Steven. picking up a Stay Positive Tri-Blend.
Oh.
Thank you very much, Steven. And
That's
finally,
all for me.
Joseph Johnson
Joseph.
to you, Joseph, for picking up an overclocking mug. Why, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right,
Thank
guys, that is all for my half of the show. Thank you so much for joining us. If you did enjoy this in the least, hit the thumbs up button, of course. The link to Kyle's half is down in the video's description, so if you're watching live, go ahead and click on that. If you're watching on Twitch, we love you and you're wonderful, and we love you if you're watching on YouTube too. But Twitch, just stay right where you're at. We'll just continue that live stream as it is. Also, possible murder on the second half.
Isn't it just weird, like, how uncomfortable this makes people feel?
Kinda
just,
does.
Just a guy with a knife raised over his head.
Just a
he's just-
strong thrust of your forearm, and I could be impaled.
Yeah, you are, like, just a quick motion away from certain death.
Oh.
Like, go.
Sure. Bye, guys.
It
We'll
was-
see you next video.
Bye.